Hello and welcome to the 7 Pillars of Life. I'm sitting with Acharya Dr. Shree Varma, our expert in Ayurveda, and in this second session, we are talking about water. But before we enter into this new chapter, we have received a few questions from the first session on food, and we will answer, if you permit, a few questions first.
Yes, of course.
So welcome again for this session. Thank you for your time. Really happy to have these very practical sessions that I have started applying already since last time. So one question came about mixing cooked food and raw food. What does Ayurveda say?
Generally, it's not advised, but Ayurveda is always individualized. So in some conditions, it depends on the Agni, depend on the person's digestion. As a medicine, we may advise some food uncooked, some food cooked can be taken together. Otherwise, generally, it's not mixed together because the digestion time of the cooked food and uncooked food, it varies. Also, the fiber content also it varies. So it's better not to mix together.
Okay, thank you for this one. Another question was, what is the benefit of eating with your hands?
Normally, we say digestion starts from the mouth, but in Ayurveda, we say digestion starts from your hands. Every finger have the nerve endings. So when you're touching the food, your nervous system feels what food you're taking, what is its guna, what is its virya, what is its vipaka. And it conveys the message to your salivary glands, to the stomach and the intestines. And every finger is the nerve endings connect with correspondent Panch Mahabhutas. So always we recommend, please eat with your hands so your digestion not starts from the mouth or the stomach or the intestines. Your digestion starts from your fingers. If you're not trained, normally the Westerners, they not trained to eat, they can start trying it. It's good. Nothing is never late. So we always recommend try to eat with your hands. It's a wonderful practice. It regulates your system.
So it's not only cultural, it has some virtue.
A lot of medicinal benefits, a lot of things. Like a food is not only to fill the stomach, it is for the nervous system. It nourishes your body and it nourishes your mind too. So you feel the food. That's more important. So we say it's like, take it with hands.
Okay, so I'm a pediatrician. Definitely children like to eat with their hands. We can encourage that, yeah?
Yes.
And mothers also maybe to feed with their hands, they can try.
Yes.
Very nice. Thank you for this answer. There's one question that actually fits very well, I think, with the content of today. And so many people have actually asked this question. I'm feeling hungry after 2 hours after a meal. And you said we have to keep a gap of 4 hours. So what should I do if I feel hungry after 2 hours?
See, hunger, always we think it is coming from the stomach and it is asking for a food. It is not true. What we consume, it's not only the food. Food, water, breathe. There's 3 things we are consuming. So if your breath is regulated and you have enough water intake, your appetite will have a 4 hours of gap. But you're taking the food and after 2 hours, if you feel hunger, try to understand it is asking for water, not for the food. So you're taking the food and after half an hour or after 1 hour or after 2 hours, if you feel hunger, it is not for the food, it's for the water. Drink water. You fill your stomach with water. So normally we say after 45 minutes of your food, you can drink water. But if you're hungry, take more water.
I see.
And wait for some time. The biological clock will get aligned. It's not difficult to maintain this clock. If you're taking breakfast at 10 o'clock, then 12 o'clock is the water time, 2 o'clock is your lunch time, 4 o'clock is your water time, 6 o'clock is your dinner time. So if 8 o'clock is a breakfast, then 10 o'clock is a water and 12 o'clock is a lunch.
Yes.
2 o'clock is water, 4 o'clock is the dinner. Within this 8 hours, easily you can align.
So now we have entered into the topic of today,
Yes.
water. You told us last time it's the greatest remedy.
Yes.
So just let us, dive deep into this water topic. What can you tell us from the Ayurvedic science? What is water all about?
Ayurveda talks food as a nectar, food as the best nourisher. In the same way, jalam or the water is a mahaushad, the best medicine or the best remedy which is available. It is a water. Water detox the body.
Yeah.
How food nourishes, the same way water detox. So the purpose of water intake, it is not only for thirst, it detox the whole body. So normally we say after the food get digested, the food has to move from the stomach to the intestines. When we have a physical exercise or the physical movements, the peristaltic movement will be better, so it moves. Nowadays, most of the people, they sit at the chair and they do the work. So physical work is very less. So there we say water, it can make the humidity, not only the intestines, each and every cells, it needs the Jal Mahabhut. So how we have a system or an alarm for the food, the same way we say water needed discipline. Your water intake has to be regulated. Morning we get up, we say you start your day with a breathe, then water.
Okay.
So you get up, drink water. Can we drink 1 liter of water at a stretch? Ayurveda normally not recommending.
Difficult.
Yeah, it says if you are taking 1 liter water at a time at a stretch, there is a possibility it can expand your stomach.
Yes.
The capacity of the stomach can expand. So later your food intake may go higher.
Yeah.
Same time, when you're taking water at one stretch, there is a possibility the digestive enzymes or the hydrochloric acid get neutralized with too much of water. So Ayurveda advocates take 1 or 2 cups of water. After that, do little breathing exercise. Again, you can take 1 cup of water. You can do little walk. Again, you can take a cup of water.
Okay.
Do little yoga. So within 1 hour of time, morning you get up within 1 hour of time, with the periodic intervals, you can drink water.
1 liter.
1 liter. Not at one stretch.
Not at once.
Give periodic intervals.
Yes.
What I do with this periodic intervals, that is be with your physical body.
Okay.
Stretch your body. You want to do yoga, you can do. You want to do cycling, do. You want to do walking, you do. It's your body, it's your responsibility. But at least 1 hour a day, be with your physical body.
Okay.
So we get up morning, the breathing we start, then we go with water.
Okay. No food for now. We've still not started food. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
The food we convey, unless you get hunger, don't eat. The morning breakfast, you should get hunger.
Yes.
The second we told, unless your bowel system get cleared, don't eat. So it's nothing to do with the food now.
Yes.
It's a breathe, then the water. Okay. So you're taking 1 liter of water within 1 hour of you wake up.
That will also help to pass motions,
Yes, it will clear. It will
Okay.
clear. Completely it will clear.
no? Okay. So good habit to start with. First 1 hour, very clear.
Yes.
What is the water that we should drink in the morning? Should it be cold water, normal temperature, or heated water?
Normally water have 2 qualities. We say Ushna and Shita.
Okay.
So hot in nature, cold in nature. Normally we say take warm water, Anushnam. It should not be hot, it should not be cold.
Okay.
It can be a room temperature or it's a little warm. That water, it's detox very smooth. And our intestines or the vessels, everything, we says it have an elasticity. We says it's a koshas. It have a tubular structure. So when you're taking your warm water, any unwanted substance which have a stickiness, this warm water goes in, it have a nature of melting it and moving it away. So cold water, which have a stampana,
Yeah.
cold water have a rigid tendency, so it will not allow the movement fast. So we say it's like room temperature water or lukewarm water. Ice water, as much as possible, please avoid.
Avoid. So I have also read that when the water has been heated, it actually enters the cells better. And you talked about detox. The detox at the cellular level
Yes.
happens.
It's a pakam. It is getting cooked already, so it's easy to digest.
So you will go back into this
Yes.
fire element
Yes.
that's there at all levels. It's interesting. So you're looking at water really as a food, not as a liquid somehow. It's a liquid food. Yes.
Yes. We say it's like eat your water. So you taste the water, you feel the water, and you consume the water. Other than rainwater, every water has to be warmed and taken. It can be a bore well, it can be RO water, it can be any source. Other than rainwater, every water it's advised to make warm and drink. Rainwater, we say it's pure in nature, that can be taken as it is and it can be consumed.
Beautiful.
Yes.
You told us in the morning we drink 1 liter of water, but there must be a reason behind this. So why do we start like this?
See, like we take a food, it has to get digested and it has to move from the stomach to the intestines. Normally, when people have a physical workout or a physical exercise, the movement happens easily.
Yeah.
But these days, we don't have enough physical movement. So what we take the previous day dinner, it get digested. There is a possibility it's completely moved from the stomach to the intestines. Sometimes the sediments stay in the stomach. Normally, before taking the first meal, we want to ensure the previous day's undigested or digested meal should not stay in the stomach. When it stays in the stomach, it's semi-processed, semi-digested. So you take a fresh food, this fresh food and the previous day's food, when it mixed together, our body will take the essence from that. When it's a mixing together, we say that is amam. That is the toxicity can produce from this mixture. It's a viruddhaha. The previous day's meal, always when it get exposure to the 12 hours, it's considered it has to get eliminated. The previous day's meal get digested within 12 hours, it has to get eliminated. So we are taking the fresh food. Fresh food has to go to your stomach. It has to process and the fresh essence body needs. So when you're taking more water in the morning and do little breathing exercise and you walk or you do some physical exercise, what happens? These movements will flush out the sediments from the stomach to the intestines. So after this 1 liter of water, when you feel hungry, that's within 2 hours you will feel hunger. So there you are taking the food from mouth to stomach. It will cherish the food. So we don't want the previous day's meal to stay in the stomach and you take the fresh food and produce the toxicity from the stomach. So Ayurveda says you follow this breathe and water, then you take food, a lot of chronic diseases can be avoided.
So it's a everyday detox.
Yes.
A very simple one. I can really see that I can do that. It's not difficult. I can put it in my daily schedule. I don't feel hungry when I wake up, so it's perfect. So yes.
See, even in our home, some drainage, something get blocks.
Yeah.
What we do? We put water and we put an air pump and we are pushing it, right? It get clears.
Yes.
So the same process. Same process. It's a simplified way. You are taking a water and you are doing a breathe and you are making a movement for your body. It regulates. Once you follow for 3 weeks, you will really enjoy your first meal.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that It is, you're not forcing yourself to eat. You should have a hunger, then you have to eat. So if something stays in the stomach, morning itself you will hesitate to eat and you'll be feeling something, you're overloading. No. Breathe, take water, you'll feel hunger, take your meal.
So how much water should we drink per day? What is the recommendation?
It depends on desha and kala, that is where you live and what temperature it has.
Yes.
Ayurveda says generally it can be 3 liters of water, but if you are in a cold country, depend on that water intake, it can be reduced between 2 to 3 liters. In case if you have kidney disease or a heart disease, there please consult your physician before taking this water advice.
Yes.
Otherwise, 3 liters water is recommended. So we say it's like a morning you take 1 liter of water.
Yes.
After 2 hours, you will feel hunger and you can take your meal.
Okay.
Along with your meal, can I take a water? Normally we don't advise, but if you have a habit of drinking water, we say reduce the water. You chew your food very well, so your saliva will get mixed with that. What is not needed during the food. But you have a habit of drinking, then we say you can sip little water along with the food and chew the food well. Then again you feel to take water, sip little water. So along with the food, 50 to 100 ml permitted, sip by sip. After meal, 2 hours, you are feeling hunger or not hunger, doesn't matter. Drink at least 2 full cups of water, that's 400 to 500 ml of water at a time. So what happens? The food gets completely processed in the stomach. It has to move to the intestines. This water goes in, it pushes it.
Flush
it makes the process, it's easier. Then you will not feel hunger. After half an hour, after 1 hour, I feel hunger. Take water sip by sip.
Okay.
So we say it's like a morning 1 liter water along with the food, the 100 ml of water with the sip by sip. After 2 hours, 400 to 500 ml of water. Again, your second meal, 100 ml of water. After 2 hours, again 400 to 500 ml of water. Then your third meal, 100 ml of water. After 2 hours, again drink 400 to 500 ml of water. Very easily you can consume 3 liters of water without any efforts.
And that's it. We don't need to measure. It's very simple. 2 glasses.
Normal cup is a 200 ml. So when we say it's a 2 cups, it's a 400 ml of water. We have a habit of taking a cup of water. Make your mindset 1 more cup.
Okay. Good. That's very simple tips that everybody can implement.
So we are taking 3 liters of water. When going to bedtime, can you drink water? Normally we say 3 hours before your bedtime, your food has to be digested completely.
Yes.
So after that, if you're drinking a water, one time you can take 500 ml of water. But when you're going to the bed, can I drink water? We say take a sip by sip little water you can consume and you can go to bed. But don't drink too much of water just before the bed.
What is the reason for that?
When you're taking just before the bed, if you're taking the water, there is a possibility you may get a tendency to urinate at night. You have to wake up. That's one. Next, when you're a lazy person, when you're lazy, you will not get up and go to urinate. So this can make a little heavy to your bladder. So we say it's like a no during bedtime. Don't drink a lot of water.
And then we'll feel thirsty when we wake up. It's a better time to wake up and to drink.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the little discipline on the food. In the same way, we will make a regulation on a water drinking. These 2 things combined together. The third pillar, it is the breath.
One question I have to ask. You told us not to drink during food. What is the reason for that? Some people say it's nice to drink because it will allow the food to be absorbed better. So why you recommending not to drink or only a few sips?
We say the food is getting processed with the Agni. So the food to get digested, you need the digestive fire inside. As per Ayurveda, this Agni is very important. When you're putting more jalam, water will pacify the Agni. When we go to the modern science, yes, the digestive enzymes and the hydrochloric acid, it needs to be little stronger to digest your food. So when you're taking water along with the food, these digestive enzymes can get diluted, so there is a possibility indigestion can happen. The other part, when you're drinking more water along with the food, without a digestion, the food can be flushed to the intestines. So there is a possibility you can get anemic, you can get anorexia, you can get a lot of digestive complaints when you're taking a lot of water along with the food. So we say like don't drink too much of water. Normally we say don't take water. You chew the food well.
Yes.
Your saliva itself can give the lubrication to the food, but we have a habit of, or if we had a habit of drinking water, we say reduce the water, take the water sip by sip.
Okay, so very, very clear. Food and water, they don't come much together. And you have a timing, we've seen on the clock, timing for food, timing for water in between. And with this discipline already, we regulate really nourishing and a detox every day. Although when we speak about water in a country like India, we drink filtered water. Some people are saying this filter is better, or filtering water is not good. Should we boil? What is your advice on this?
Make sure you're drinking a clean water, because water have its own emotions and water have its own micronutrients. We talk about microorganisms and infections and all this, but body have a mechanism of okasatmiyam, suitability. So I say it's like if the water is clean, be confident you can drink that water. When too much of filtration happens, the needed micronutrients is getting filtered on from the water. So the water will be a just liquid. It will not be the gel. It will not be the proper water. So there he says, make sure you are getting the water from the clean resource. Be confident that water will do good to you. It will not do any damage to your internal organs. If you have a water challenges, water scarcity and the color, smell of the water, then check the quality of the water. Otherwise, plain water, the normal water is good enough. It can be warm or it can be once heated. Too much of heating the water also, it will dilute the properties of the water. So we say warm water. Once you heat the water, don't reheat the water again. The quality changes.
Interesting.
So water, if you have to consider that as Maha Aushad, the best medicine, we say the clean water consume.
Thank you, Dr. Shree Varma. I have learned so much, and in detail, I feel really inspired. I also feel that it's very simple, and it gives me a guideline for my entire day. I know I can follow that from today itself. So we are going to continue these conversations, and next week, what is the topic that we are taking?
You see, to be alive, our body needs food and water. We all are aware food and water is most important. But without food, you can live for 1 or 2 days. Without water, you can manage even a day. Something else is more important. Without that, we can't have life. Without that, even this food and the water, it's meaningless in your life. That's the breathe.
Thank you so much. So thank you for joining us, and join us next week for this session on breathing. So how breath is important. We will sit again with Dr. Shree Varma to look at all his advice from the Ayurveda and yoga, also sciences. And if you have any questions on the water chapter, please write to us and we will try to answer a few of them with Dr. Shree Varma. Thank you very much.
Thank you.